I am Shloka R. I am in 8th grade and I go to Chittick Junior High School. Today, I am going to talk about a topic that affects more than 3 million people per year. It's a mental illness and causes significant damage in daily life. In some cases, depression can even be associated with thoughts of suicide. So, what starts depression? How can you get over it? What is depression? Depression is a mental health disorder caused by a constantly depressed mood or loss of interest in certain activities, causing a significant change in daily life. It can be caused by many things, like the persistent feeling of sadness in your day-to-day life. It isn't relatively caused by only one thing. It's usually caused by a combination of recent events or other long-term or personal factors, rather than only one immediate issue or event. What causes depression? There could be different life events that could trigger depression, and research has shown that continuing difficulties such as long-term unemployment, living in an abusive or uncaring relationship, loneliness, and other things are more likely to cause stress than things that have only happened recently in one's life. There could also be personal factors, such as a family history of depression, one's personality, a serious medical illness, or even drug or alcohol use. Depression can run in families, and some people will be at increased genetic risk. However, just because your close relative has or has had depression, it doesn't automatically mean that you will also suffer from it. The stress and long-term pain from a serious medical illness can result in depression. And lastly, drugs and alcohol can both lead to and result from depression. What can you do to help someone with depression? You need to know, first of all, that depression is a serious condition and it drains a person's energy, optimism, and motivation. Your loved ones can't just snap out of depression. The symptoms of depression are not personal. Depression makes it hard for the person to connect on an emotional level with anyone, even loved ones. It is also common for people to lash out or say hurtful things. Remember that this is depression talking, not your loved one. Hiding the problem won't help anyone in the long run. The person may tell you to hide their problem, but don't make excuses because lying for a friend or family member who is depressed may keep them from seeking treatment. As much as you want to, you cannot fix a person's depression. You are not to blame for your loved one's depression or responsible for their happiness. Whenever you can offer the person support, recovery is in the hands of the person who is depressed. What signs should you look for? You should watch out for different signs, which could imply that someone could have depression. You should be concerned if they don't seem to care about anything anymore, express a negative outlook in life, or frequently talk about aches and pains, sleep less or usual or oversleeps, eat more or less than usual, or drinks more or and abuses drugs, which includes prescriptions and painkillers. One important thing is to remember that being a compassionate listener is much more important than giving advice to the depressed person. Usually, the simple act of talking to someone face to face can help people get out of depression. Encourage a depressed person to talk about their feelings and their opinion on certain things. Don't expect a single conversation to be the end of all conversations. Depressed people tend to isolate themselves from others, and you may need to express your concern and how you are willing to listen to the person over and over and over again. You should be gentle with them, yet persistent. These are some common symptoms of depression. So the depressed person could have a feeling of being sad or empty. They could have thoughts of death or suicide. They could have frequent aches or pains. They could be overeating and have weight gain, or they could have a lack of appetite. They could have poor memory and it's hard for them to concentrate on things for long periods of time, and they'll also have poor decision making. They might have insomnia or lack of sleep, or they might oversleep and they might have a lack of energy in their day-to-day life. They might also have anger and no pleasure in activities they used to enjoy before, and they could be feeling excessively guilty, feeling worthless, or even feeling hopeless or helpless. The National Suicide Prevention Line can be contacted at 1-800-273-8255. The National Suicide Prevention Line is a national network of local crisis centers that provides free and confidential emotional support to people in suicidal crisis or emotional distress 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The self-harm text hotline can be texted by saying connect to 741-741. Crisis text line is free, 24/7 support for those in crisis, connecting people in crisis to trained counselors who will help you. Their first priority is helping people move from a hot moment to a cool calm, guiding you to create a plan to stay safe and healthy. You equals their first priority. Let's share this information with people around you, and let's help diagnose depression early and stop suicide and self-harm. Thank you for listening.